Hi everyone, so this next stretch that I want to show you is a static stretch, and this is something that you're gonna hold and you're really just gonna breathe into it and allow your body to release, because this is a really important muscle group and it's a very large one at that. So when you're doing deadlifts and you're squatting a lot, you really wanna make sure that you're stretching your quads and your glutes, okay? So this is a big stretch for the legs, and I want you to be careful and always honor your body with where it is, because if you go too far you can injure yourself in a static stretch, okay? And so it's really important just to honor where you're at. The first pose that I'm going to show you, and mind you, I have already stretched, I'm already warmed up, so I am not going into this cold, okay? If I was going to go into this cold, I wouldn't. I wouldn't go into this cold. You have to be a little bit more warmed up. So you need to do something like those sun salutation stretches first to warm up your muscles and get you a little bit more pliable so that you can do these deeper hip stretches and glute stretches. So this pose that I'm going to show you is called fire log pose. And what you're going to do is you're going to just bring your legs out in front of you, and they're going to basically stack on top of each other like firewood. Okay, so let me talk to you about this right now. Right here, this is the most vulnerable position for your knee, okay? So what you have to do is be super careful. I do not have anything right now to put here, but if you have anything that you can wedge underneath this knee, like a block or a pillow or a bag or something, then you can do that, okay? I'm not gonna need it. But what you can also do is just simply hold the hand on the bottom of the knee. What's happening here in the body is there's an external rotation of this top part of my leg, of this whole femur muscle, of this whole femur bone, and the quad, the hamstrings, everything right here is externally rotating. It's turning out. Okay, so what's happening on the back side of my body is inside my glutes, deep inside my glute, where the piriformis muscle is, that's also getting a nice stretch, okay? So what's happening is this is getting externally rotating and this is getting pulled back here. So we wanna go into this nice and slow and with our breath, okay? So usually, for a lot of people who have been warmed up a little bit, what's happening is you can see that my knee and my leg is starting to drop. That's what happens when the body releases and calms down and gets comfortable in this stretch. It actually just starts to go, okay, I trust this position now, I'll relax for you. And that's exactly what happens. So now my knee is no longer in jeopardy because it's level, these areas are level, so I can now just kind of let it drop a little bit. What you don't want to do is have your foot higher than the knee. Like I literally can't do it, and because that's how we get injured, okay? So now my leg is releasing and now they're pretty much just stacked on top of each other. So I'm getting a mega pull here on the back side of the leg. Where I'm feeling this is really in the back side of the body, okay? So right deep underneath that gluteus maximus muscle, deep in there near that piriformis muscle. So what I'm going to do is lift up nice and tall, and I'm going to fold forward. And what I want you to do is to keep your sternum lifted, your collarbones open, and fold, bringing the belly to the thighs, not the shoulders to the knees, okay? So what you do here is you can just take little spider fingers and keep your sternum lifted. You may not even be able to get your fingers to the ground, because I can already feel that, okay? So I can feel a mega stretch right now. So I really don't need to go too much further. Now, when I'm teaching this pose in a yin yoga class, we're holding it for 5 minutes. So at the end of the 5 minutes, oftentimes people who were here and they were breathing really heavy in the beginning of the pose are almost laying their chest on the leg. So the body is really funny, and once it starts to feel more comfortable in these poses, you're gonna get more and more flexible within that practice, okay? Because I'll leave here today and I'll go do a workout tomorrow, or I will go and run and I'll come back to the exact same thing I started with today before this practice, okay? And that's the funny thing about flexibility and why we need to practice it, because it does come and go.